Dick here with today's Life app, again enjoying the beautiful outdoors here in the Rocky Mountains, and I hope you are as well, as we post these regularly on dickandjoan.com. Tell your friends about it. Love to have you be a part of the website, and make sure you check out all the other wonderful stuff that's going on at dickandjoan.com. And check out our homepage and maybe partner with us if that's so inclined. Today I'm talking about the characteristics of a healthy self-image. It's something I've talked about in some other life apps, and so I'm really believing this is one of those important subjects. Again, very often misunderstood, because some people think overconfidence, self-confidence is arrogance and pride, and therefore, you know, contrary to the characteristics of a righteous or godly spirit. And the reality is that religion sometimes imposes, many times, imposes this false sense of humility. You know, in fact, people, the great heroes of the Bible, exhibited great confidence, and they were always first to give credit to God. But they, you know, David, when he stood in front of the giant, he said, you know, I slew the lion, I slew the bear. I'm gonna feed your flesh to the vultures today. You know, he was very confident in his ability, and that comes out of a self-image that is healthy, and we need that healthy self-image. Now, you know, the popular word today, dysfunction. You know, we all grew up in a dysfunctional past. Well, the reality is we all can claim that to some degree. God wants us to get past that. There's a healing process and a rebuilding process that can take place in our lives. You know, it's just some of the thoughts that I want to give you today about a healthy self-image. These are characteristics, is that you become less sensitive to rejection or disapproval. You know what? No one, at any given time, there's a whole bunch of people that are going to disagree with you. I remember when I pastored a church, I went to a church growth conference, and one of the first things the person said is, at any given time, 16% of your congregation disagree with you, so get over it. You know, I thought, well, that was pretty funny. You know, 16% of your congregation are disagreeing at any given time. That makes sense, though. I like this quote from Jonathan Swift: "A man should never be ashamed to admit he is wrong, which is but saying that he is wiser today than he was yesterday." I wish everyone looked at it that way. You know, another characteristic is that you must have a realistic appraisal of life. You know, I've talked to some people, and they can't hold a job, and they're bankrupt, and their finances are a wreck, and then they have some lofty idea that they're going to have this great business and be, you know, this huge marketplace businessman giver. And I'm like, you know, do you see the disparity here, where your life is today and where your life you say it's going to be? Nothing wrong with having that dream, by the way, but a realistic appraisal says, okay, if I'm going to get here, I got to be able to hold a job first. And then I got to be able to pay the mortgage. And then I got to be able to get ahead a little bit and provide the necessities for my family. And then from there, I've got to show that I can be diligent in business. There are steps along the way. That's a healthy appraisal of your life. And then this is such an important point. Never equate failure with self-worth. And this is such a key component. Boy, some people are so sensitive to failure. They think, oh, this is a reflection of who I am. And the reality is that it is not the same thing. Success and failures are part of the process. We have successes. You know, behind me are mountains. But you know what's between the mountains? Valleys. You know, it's great to live on the mountaintops, but I'll tell you, there's times when you have to go through the valleys. Do you know that the most fruitful land is in the valley? Fertile land is in the valley, right? That's where you learn. Here's another characteristic, though, that I want to just impart about that healthy self-image, is maintaining a view of the big picture. I think I said this in another life app, that, you know, God looks at the values in our life very differently than we do. He doesn't look at our bank account. He looks at the character in your heart. Keep a view of the big picture. This is not just your life we're talking about. Keep a bigger view, and it will keep you in a very, very objective viewpoint of what's going on, particularly when relating to your healthy self-image. I like this about negative thinking, avoiding negative thinking, but this is a great quote. When a friend makes a mistake, don't rub it in, rub it out. What a great thought. When a friend makes a mistake, you know, that's so important, because the measure you use to someone else's failure is the measure that God is going to use to you. I believe in my life, I was gracious to people who had failed, and I was supportive of people who failed, and as a result, in my failure, God helped me. And today's Life app, have a healthy self-image, and God will promote you.